The long-awaited Junji Ito collab is finally here, so let's take a look at all 8 cosmetics to see if they are worth it and see where each outfit originates from. Be careful because there are heavy spoilers in this video. And let's start with one of the creepiest and coolest legendaries in DbD, Miss Fuchi Artist. And just like other legendaries, this skin will cost you 15 bucks. Purchasing this cosmetic will also grant you the Soichi banner with the dolls. Miss Fuchi comes with completely unique lobby animations as well as a brand new voiceover for every single action she does. So if you ask me, she is pretty well worth the price. Take a listen yourself. Also, this cosmetic might be low-key pay to win, as Miss Fuchi does not do the scream anytime she prepares the crows. Take a listen. Miss Fuchi is a character who first appeared in the Rumors manga from the Soichi collection, a character we're going to talk about soon, and has a dedicated episode called Fashion Model where her cosmetic as well as laugh is taken from. She is a very creepy supermodel who was rumored at first to be someone who tried to eat children in dark alleyways, which first started as a rumor spread by Soichi. Later on, another rumor was spread about her being in Soichi's town in order to bathe in a swamp that made people look very beautiful and young. This all turned out to be another fake rumor spread by Soichi in order to take pictures of Madoka, the main protagonist of this episode, but turns out this was something real, and Miss Fuchi attempted to eat Soichi because he took a photograph of her without permission. She later on appears in the episode Fashion Model from the Shiver collection, where the entire episode is dedicated to her, and this is where her dress is taken from. After the protagonist sees her creepy face in the magazine, he constantly gets to see her at all times. Later on, she gets cast for a movie he and his team are organizing, where he gets to see how creepy she is in person. Later, while recording for a movie in the middle of a forest in nowhere, she becomes crazy and starts killing the main protagonist of the movie. When the rest of the team finds her, it's already over, and one by one, they get taken down by her. She also makes an appearance in Fashion Model Cursed Frame, and she is also present in both versions of the Mystery of the Haunted House mangas, only for a brief moment as a secondary character. In terms of the blade she uses in DbD, this is exclusive for the game, as her main weapon of choice is her own hands and teeth. But the pose she appears with in the lobby is taken straight from one of the 2 iconic poses she has with the crossed arms. Not only does Miss Fuchi fit perfectly as a killer in Dead by Daylight, as she is a psychopathic cannibal, she also visually fits the artist really well, as they are both characters that are tall and slender. And it's funny how one of the kindest killers in DbD becomes one of the most evil and messed up. The other legendary skin from this collection is Tomie Kawakami for the Spirit, which also costs 15 bucks. Tomie comes with a completely new voiceover as well as a completely unique lobby animation too. Purchasing this legendary cosmetic will also grant you the Tomie emblem for your profile. This skin is absolutely crazy, as Tomie will laugh anytime she gets a hit on someone. and her cracking sounds become broken bone sounds anytime you use her power. In the manga, Tomie is one of the biggest characters from Junji Ito, and also one of the most well known, as she has made various appearances in plenty of episodes, first appearing as far back as 1987. Her visual design, as far as I am aware, is taken from the chapter 2 of the Tomie collection, where she appears with a beach dress she uses in-game, which can be seen better in the anime adaptation. One of the most popular appearances for her is the Painter episode from the Shiver collection, and she is a very beautiful woman who is actually a monster that makes all other women feel anxious at all times, and all men who look at her become obsessed with her, to the point where they go absolutely crazy in trying to replicate her beauty or defend her. And for the men, the moment they kill her, they start to cut her in various bits, from which she starts regrowing again. This is why Tomie is an absolutely perfect fit for the Spirit. Both of these characters end up cut into bits, but whereas the Spirit was a good person who got this fate due to her crazy father, Tomie is someone who actually wants to be cut in pieces so she can grow back again from them and constantly clone herself. It's also interesting to note how, just like Miss Fuchi, Tomie is an absolutely evil character, which is a cosmetic for one of the kindest killers in the roster, and funnily enough, she is also one of the strongest characters in Dead by Daylight, as she can constantly clone herself in the entity's realm or by infecting the survivors and taking over their bodies. The next cosmetic is not a legendary, but it is still an ultra rare, and it costs 15 bucks, and that is the Dredge Half Spirit Torment cosmetic inspired on the story of the mysterious tunnel. This cosmetic comes with a unique lobby animation, but no new sounds as far as I am aware, as everything is the same as default, unlike the Iron Maiden legendary. Purchasing this cosmetic will also grant you a banner inspired on this same cosmetic and manga. This outfit comes from the second chapter of the 14th volume from the Junji Ito manga collection, and it talks about the story of a mysterious tunnel where various people decided to go inside just to make them go DC from the match, like it was the case for the mother of the protagonist of this episode. His small sister is also constantly coming to this tunnel, as if it was calling her. This tunnel was later closed and taken over by a cosmic ray observatory in order to study the cosmic rays, where the protagonist's sister always ended up. And that's when, at one point, they discovered that the souls of the dead people never left the tunnels, and they constantly ricocheted off the walls. That's when the tunnel starts to melt the scientists inside it, forming amalgamations of human meat and bodies. And this is why this skin is absolutely crazy, because of how well it is done for such a crazy concept. You can see that the body of the Dredge is composed of all the scientists inside the tunnel, and the weapon is literally the train tracks from the abandoned railway inside it, and the worst detail is the main head from the body. As you can see by the hair, this is the protagonist's sister, and let me remind you that she was taken as a child. This is, without a doubt, one of the most horrifying cosmetics in the entire game. The Memento Mori even makes sense for this outfit. Starting with the 10 bucks cosmetics, we have the Trickster doing a Soichi cosplay, which, just like Tomie, is one of the most popular characters from Junji Ito. This cosmetic is not a legendary, so it does not come with any voice line changes, but I did notice how his clothes sound a bit different, and the bat no longer has neon electric sounds like default. This is the last cosmetic that will grant you an emblem when you purchase it, with Soichi's face. Soichi is a very weird and troublesome kid who is obsessed with voodoo magic and having nails in his mouth. According to his brother, he does that because he is anemic and he needs iron on his blood, so he sucks on the nails to get it, which is, by the way, not a good idea. In all of his appearances, he is constantly doing weird stuff, showing that he does possess some kind of dark magic power, as he is able to damage people thanks to nailing dolls with their faces down. His visual appearance is taken from chapter 7 of the collection, where he appears hammering down a doll in the middle of the forest with the same clothes and candle crown as the Trickster. The bat is also a reference to this same scene, and as you can see, various nails and dolls are all over his body, some of which he crafted himself. What I find funny is that despite being Korean, Trickster is a perfect fit for Soichi power-wise, as he is capable of shooting the nails out of his body like a machine gun, slowly lacerating anyone who tries to escape from him. If DbD were better programmed and allowed for power customization earlier, this skin would have been a legendary that changes the knives of the Trickster to nails. As the final cosmetic for the killers, we have the Hikizuri Dark Past Twins cosmetic, which is inspired by the bizarre Hikizuri siblings from volume 13, chapter 4 and 5 from the Junji Ito manga collection. In this cosmetic, Charlotte is cosplaying as Kinako, the eldest sister from the siblings, and she got Misako, the third daughter, who is 8 years old, so this is the actual first alive child that we ever see in Dead by Daylight. But sadly, she is just a cosmetic as she does not move, talk, or blink, which is personally massively disappointing, especially because this cosmetic also makes the default sounds, so Misako for some reason sounds metallic. Another very disappointing thing is the lack of Victor customization, as she could have actually been Misako herself because she scratches and bites people just like Victor does. This story follows Narumi, the second daughter who almost tried to go next on Hook because she could not live with her siblings, and who has go next tendencies just like the majority of your teammates in DbD do. Kinako is someone who is very envious of her sister's beauty, and she is also very sadistic, fitting for a killer. Misako, the small girl, is very devious and constantly laughing, and is potentially one of the most sadistic characters there. In the end, these guys end up killing the friend of Narumi by a heart attack, making them fitting as killers in Dead by Daylight. They also have another chapter about them, which is more related to their family and the supernatural. Sadly, the weapon itself is completely made up for DbD. At first I thought that this was the knife used by Narumi in order to threaten to take the DC penalty, and this would have been an insane attention to detail, but sadly it's just a generic curved machete. Now let's talk about the 3 survivor cosmetics, starting with the Puppet's Trouble Ballet outfit for Kate, inspired by the Marionette Mansion tome from the Shiver collection. In this cosmetic, Kate is wearing a traditional ballet outfit, but it has a very interesting twist, and you can see it by the floating strings coming out of her wrists. The Marionette Mansion episode talks about a poor family of 4 that travels all over Japan in order to do puppet shows. At one point in the story, the father dies, and so Yukihiko, the big brother, leaves the family while the protagonist, Haruhiko, takes care of Natsumi, the small sister. Later on, they find out that Hikuhiko is actually really rich, and he lives in a mansion where everyone is controlled by puppeteers, and he doesn't have to do anything himself. Kate's cosmetic is inspired by the same outfit Natsumi wears when she asks to stay in the mansion and let herself be controlled by the puppeteers. The implications of this story are actually crazy, as the idea of having a bunch of dudes control every single aspect of your life, including going to the bathroom and making love, is absolutely crazy. Out of all the survivor cosmetics, this one is my favorite, as the floating wrists could actually represent us, the players, as we are being the puppeteers controlling Kate. Next up, we have a cosmetic for only Japanese survivor, which is Tsukiko's uniform for Yui Kimura, inspired by the Tomie Photos chapter for the Tomie collection. This story is about Tsukiko Izumisawa, a student member of the photograph club that loves to take pictures, and she gets paid in order to take pictures of the boys her friends find cute. Tsukiko actually meets Tomie in this chapter. In short, Tsukiko takes various pictures of Tomie which end up showing her true nature, and because of jealousy and how weird the pictures looked, she decided to spread them all over high school. This enraged Tomie, who asked all the students who were obsessed with her to actually kill Tsukiko, but she was able to escape in time. Then, Tomie appears at her house with two of her goons, but apparently it was to ask for forgiveness. However, after a debate with Tsukiko, Tomie goes absolutely wild and the tumor with her face starts growing out of her head, and this is where she asks the goons to remove the tumor. But, as we know already, Tomie is able to regrow her body from any other body part of hers, so the head and the body become two Tomies. Tsukiko actually survived her encounter with Tomie, making this cosmetic a fitting one for Dead by Daylight, so if you ever use this outfit against a spirit using Tomie, know that escaping is canon. And finally, we have Terumi's fame for Yunjin, a cosmetic inspired on Terumi Fujino's outfit in the Hanging Balloons manga from chapter 6 of the 4th volume of the Junji Ito collection. Now, this cosmetic is very interesting, because, spoilers ahead, Terumi is actually dead. She is not even the protagonist of the chapter she appears in, as she is an idol who went next on hook for what seemed to be no reason whatsoever, as she lived a happy life. The reason this outfit was given to Yunjin is because she is very close to Terumi in terms of status, as Yunjin works with idols and K-pop stars. The Hanging Balloons chapter talks about how a series of balloons with the heads of people go around trying to hang the people their heads belong to. The problem of these balloons is that if anyone tries to take them down, whatever happens to that head will happen to the original person too, so it seems like the only way to avoid them is by escaping them constantly. They will even try to lure and mimic the person in order for them to take you out. So, funnily enough, unlike with the other two survivors, Yunjin's outfit is the only one belonging to someone not alive. And that's all the cosmetics part of this amazing collaboration. I do wish there was a cosmetic for the unknown, as I think that killer would have been perfect for Junji Ito's horror. It's really weird how there are no references to Uzumaki, not even a charm, arguably one of the most well-known works from Junji Ito, and Unknown would have handled having a weird spiral head easily. Unknown could have also been an amazing pick for a cosmetic inspired on the Long Dream chapter, which has a very creepy scene, or a cosmetic inspired on the Enigma of Amigara Fold, as the body composition is perfect for the Unknown's face, and it's also one of his most popular mangas. My only theory is that the collaboration was being worked on before the Unknown was created, so they simply didn't coincide. Let me know which of the cosmetics is your favorite, and if you think behavior cooked with this collab. And as always, thank you for watching and have a nice day.